associate with a book. Very, very often. Just I not published, evidently, the fairy tale and the Last Mistress, because the novel or the fairy tale still exists.
Thank you. Yes, for those who do not know Catherine yet, it's important to say that she started writing. She's a novelist. Most people think she's a film director. Yes, she's a film director, but she started as a novelist. She published her first novel when she was 17 years old, L'Homme Facile. And then she adapted some of her books to film. And she has been also a script writer for other directors like Maurice Pialat, because you worked together on one of your books, Police.
Fellini.
And Fellini also. And
Maurice Pialat need Wale me, and Fellini don't need so much.
I would like to. There is a problem with the mic. I would like also to take this opportunity before we start the Q&A. I would like to first thank our sponsor, the Lee Foundation, and also to thank our venue and program partner who curated this event, the Arts House. And we are very honored today to have Catherine. So I would like a warm round of applause. You have made a dozen of films, and most of them...
14 now.
14 exactly. And very recently you adapted two tales, The Bluebird and The Sleeping Beauty. Why did you choose to adapt tales?
Bluebird, I go to Arte. I don't know the conjugation very well. So I go to Arte and ask them because I want to make a Bluebird. But Bluebird is really the fairy tale which I grown with. The little sister is, of course, me and my sister. And now I am adult and think that it's so strange that in France, all the young girls, they read Bluebird because he is the first serial killer of the literature. Yes, it's true. And I think so. It's a manner to learn to the little girl to love the man who killed them, and in the same time they are the winner.
And why are they winning in the end? Is the love for the ogre, for the monster, a compulsory rite of passage to become a woman? Est-ce que le fait d'aimer l'ogre, d'aimer le monstre,
for me it's really a man.
Pour devenir...
For me it's not an ogre, and it's really the characteristic of this fairy tale, because just in this fairy tale he is a man and not an ogre. In all the other fairy tales, the ritual passage is the ogre, and in this one it is a man. So strange. that is the same ritual, but me, I invent the girl to be a sort of Lolita, who in fact have a relationship with him, also have two, not monster, but two person with a great solitude, her because she's an adolescent, but nobody take care and understand, and him because he has this sort of physique of rich man, but ugly and somebody who afraid all the other. But I see the projection, and in fact, he really have a blue bird, but very dark one. When he enters, only when he enters the castle, like the pharaoh with the blue bird. But I think I make a sort of mistake because I see you cannot see that the bird becomes blue because it was so ugly. If I put really blue, that I put a blue marine, and then you don't see that it's become blue. But when you enter the castle, always the beer becomes blue. But it's also the same myth than Beauty and the Beast, or Ricky à la Houppe, which is another fairy tale in France, that the person you see as a monster, in fact, when you fall in love with, it becomes beautiful, and at the same time it stays the same. That is also a sort of theme of French fairy tale, in fact. And for the Sleeping Beauty, I don't like very much, in fact, the fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty. So I transform, because she transperce her hand at 6 years old, and then she enters in the fairy tale, which is one of Andersen. Because Andersen also write very long fairy tale, and Sleeping Beauty is very little fairy tale, 3 or 4 pages.
Why did you choose to mix? Well, in the film, in the next film, you will see the Sleeping Beauty. Catherine has mixed two fairy tales: the Sleeping Beauty and the Snow Queen. Andersen's fairy tale Snow Queen. Why did you choose to mix both, and why Snow Queen?
It's the same in Andersen. The little girl as the girl in Bluebird. She loves dangers, and she loves dangers, and she becomes proud and adult through dangers. So it is like mythologie of Graal, de la quête du Graal.
Ah, c'est ok.
Vaincre tous les dangers pour devenir. Okay. Oui. Moi, c'est une de mes obsessions, la quête du Graal. La romance, c'est aussi la quête du Graal, aussi par une femme.
What does it mean, questing the Graal for a woman? What is a Graal for a woman?
C'est la chevalerie, c'est la légende. It's also to enter the legend of la chevalerie.
Okay, the chivalry. But do you think young women nowadays are still waiting for Prince Charming?
No. Mine never wait Prince Charming. Never. And they are stronger than Prince Charming. Even in when I rejoindre.
To
join the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale at the end because she's a young girl of 16 years, and of course he is the charming prince. But at the end, she becomes the stronger also. After being the girl who dream to the charming prince, and which is in love, but like a girl of fairy tale, and at the end she becomes a modern girl.
Yes, so it means that to you, love doesn't free women. It seems that in your films, women become free against men.
No, not against men, but against the idea that men are stronger, and girl always in love for somebody which is less in love than her. They become stronger, and he fall in love. Not the contrary is true, but in fact he go after her after. Yes.
Okay, and so it means that this rite of passage allow women maybe to come back to their wild side. You know, in psychoanalysis, there is this analysis that says that fairy tales sometimes help women to free themselves from archetypes and to come back to their wild side, to what they are.
I am very, very against this manner of the psychanalyst to take the fairy tale and oblige the fairy tale to be to be psychanalytic. For me, fairy tales are mythic. It's like the conte and legends of every country have their own, and only France have psychanalysis. So the myth is stronger than psychanalysis.
Okay, and here in because we are in Singapore, we can say that here also there is a myth which is very important. It is a Pontianak, the Malay and Pontianak. In fact, Pontianak is a vampiric ghost. It is the spirit of women who died while they were pregnant. And sometimes they take revenge on males. So maybe it is the next step.
Yes, me, I just play as an actress the woman of Dracula, interpreted with the real one, Christopher Lee. And he was so in love with me that he cannot.
Yeah, he cannot bite you. He doesn't.
Yes.
He doesn't bite you. He doesn't kill you.
Yes, at the end he do, but he don't want. It's like Barbel who is obliged to kill her. In my version, you see that it's a fatality, so a myth, not psychanalytic, which because that is another explication that, like in a myth, he is obliged to kill her, if not disobey, but take the key to enter the room, and me, my body, you see. So it's perhaps why he cannot kill her so easily, and he obeyed to her when she prayed him, oh little moment, and he agreed, and it's why he is killed, because he is, in fact, the marionette between...
He's a puppet?
Yes, between her hands. But they love each other.
You think they love each other? What?
In my version, yes.
Okay, and so we can ask maybe the audience, what is their interpretation? How do you interpret the film, The Bluebird? What did you understand from the film? What is your version? Do you think Marie-Catherine loves the bluebird? Is it the story of an impossible love, or is it the story of a serial killer who cannot kill? What is your interpretation? Any question from the floor? What did you think of the film? How do you interpret Bluebird? Who is Bluebird for you?
I just say without mic. I think everybody has a different understanding of film, and my understanding was that Marie-Catherine loves more the feeling to be with the strong man, and loves more the fact that she lives in a big castle, and also the kind of security, maybe not security, but I didn't get the idea that she actually loved the man. Maybe I didn't catch it, but yeah, that's what I thought about it.
It's more superficial.
Maybe I didn't get it, but what I get was she was so happy about the red dress she got, and she wanted to show to her sisters, and she was so excited to enter this big castle and everything she's got. Yeah.
It's not genuine love. It's more the appearance.
I don't want to really give a determined response. Maybe there's a part of that. Yeah, let's be more optimistic. But there's a big part from my understanding that she's got links to the other feelings. Yeah.
Yes, I think that as every each of our, she have a side where she is vaniteuse and futile.
She's futile and into vanity more than in real.
But in the same time, she's very, very poetic, and this side of her character she get in the castle. And also, he's a teacher. He give him savoir,
the knowledge.
Yes.
The knowledge.
And the book, you know, the eclipse of Chinese nose, it's real. It's as the old book he is reading, it is writing in. It belongs to me in this book.
It's a real book.
Yes. You see that it is a real one, a real old book. Yes.
So is he, to me in the film, he looks like more like a father than a lover, or he's more the figure of a father. He has the knowledge, he teaches her. So is he more a father or is he more a lover? I don't want to give a psychoanalytic
the
reading, but
the film is very, very perverse. She's a little like Lolita in Baby Doll, which is one of my favorite films.
Because at the beginning there is a long scene where both sisters are mourning their father who is dead. So we understand that the Bluebird is in many ways a kind of a new father.
And you know what is great in cinema? That each person has also her proper interrogation and explication. It's why it's so beautiful. It's because it transforms not only in spectator, but also on s'approprie ce qu'on voit.
Yes, you appropriate what you see, and you reformulate.
No, not only reformulate.
You own it. You want to.
On le rapporte à soi et on le transforme pour que ça soit soi. Donc on devient soi à travers à travers les films. Moi, c'est je pense.
Okay, so the film is a way to becoming oneself, in fact. And so that's why she says that everybody has his or her own interpretation of a film, because in many ways the film is a way to go to our inner self, to discover who we are. I don't know, what is your, any other comment on the film?
I think it's the same for the literature. You project yourself in the book. It's the same, in fact.
A question over there, please.
It's not a question, but it's just something that I saw. Like, sorry, if you don't mind, please don't take any pictures of me. Thank you. Then I can put my book down and speak freely. Yes. I just felt that maybe it's hard to accept. Like, it's showing how the girl can be so nice. You know, she can be so nice to her mother. She can be so nice to the father that has passed away. But yet, later she was very unkind. Some of the comments that she made of the sister was a little bit unkind. And I guess maybe that's what we are as well. Sometimes we can be very nice, and we've got a good side, and we've got a dark side, I think. I don't know. And then another thing that really frightened me was, like, I don't know, is there a like sibling rivalry? Like the two sisters, I don't know, do they really love one another, both? The two little girls telling the story and the two sisters as well. Like, do they love one another? And then the other thing that struck me was how come she's got so much power to dictate so many things to Bluebeard, you know? Like, she could tell him, no, I want separate room, and you cannot have me till I'm 20 years old. I was very surprised. I didn't know she had that much power to dictate the terms, you know?
The young female power. So yeah, there are two scenes in the film. Why did you want to talk about the rivalry between the two sisters? Why is it so important to you? And why did you choose
because I was the second.
Okay.
And for the psychanalytic, when you love so much psychanalysis, the end when she kills the first,
yeah.
Yes, that is psychanalytic.
And the second theme the lady was talking about, where does this young female power comes from? Why does this young woman has the strength to dictate orders to Bluebird? She says, I want my room. you will not touch me before I'm 20, and so on. And he accepts. Why? Why she is so strong, and why he accepts? Why did you emphasize on this relation in this way?
Because she is a woman. Yes, me. I love two things: the woman and the puppet, and Baby Doll by Elia Kazan, and she does the same. She becomes stronger because she plays with her purity, with her innocence, to give order to the man qui est pris à son propre piège, que la femme doit être pure.
Okay, yes, the man gets entrapped because he thinks the woman is pure. He does not suspect she can be so strong.
Non. Et la théorie du fait que les femmes doivent rester pures et vierges se retourne contre ses désirs et contre lui.
Okay.
Qu'est-ce que vous voyez chez une fille? Like, what do you see in a girl?
In which way? What?
Like, because all your earlier films, like Une vraie jeune fille, 36 fillettes, et À ma sœur, they are all about girls. So what is your vision? And you keep talking about Lolita. Like, so what is this vision? What do you see in a girl? Like, what makes you, what attracts you so much to the girl? Why do you tell her story so much?
Well, the moment one is a passage from a child to become a woman, and this passage is adolescence. And for me, an adolescent it's a person who suicide herself because she suicided the fact to be adolescent and really young girl and become a woman. But in the same time, she have to. And it is a rite of death to become normal and alive.
And plain woman?
Plain woman? No. Woman. Adult.
Adult, okay.
As we hate the adult and as we become all the adults, but adolescent hate the adults. They don't want to become like them, but they become.
Do you think it's so easy to be an adult? Is it easier to be an adult than to be a teenager? When we see your films, it seems very painful to be a teenage girl. But it is also painful to be an adult woman, no? Because you say it's woman needs this rite of passage to become a woman, but it's not so easy after. When you cease to be a teenage, is it so easy to be a woman after? Well, is it another story to tell? Do you want to tell the story of adult woman in one of your films in the future? Would you like to explore this? You want to stay exploring?
Stay too much adolescent in their head. In fact, they never been really adult because on a aussi entré pour devenir adulte dans des cadres sociaux obligés qui ne correspondent pas, je pense, à la... Les hommes doivent devenir des hommes, c'est affreux. Ils sont obligés d'être les plus forts, c'est affreux. Les femmes doivent devenir des femmes, et c'est quand même des stéréotypes qu'on nous inculque dès qu'on est tout petit. Voilà pour la psychanalyse.
Okay.
Et on est obligé de le devenir, alors que c'est pas ça qu'on doit devenir réellement.
Yeah, Catherine says, in fact, most women and maybe most men also, they still are teenagers in many ways, even if they are adults, because being an adult means being trapped in a framework, a social framework with conventions, stereotypes, and we obey to these stereotypes, and it's very painful for all of us. And that's why we are teenagers at 40 years old sometimes, and because it is too painful to fit in the stereotypes. So Catherine says it's very difficult for men to be men as the stereotypes means. What to be a man, you have to be strong any hour of the day, but it's difficult to be like that. And the same for the women. Women are expected to fit in the stereotypes, and it's very painful.
But the problem of the woman, it is the laws which are against her and against her liberty, and man, what is against, that they are forced to show that they are the stronger. And my opinion is that very often in the intimacy and even at school, women are the stronger. And it is, I think, to life and to live and love each other is to become alternatively stronger and le plus faible.
And weaker.
Yes, and it's that. For me, equality is that. It's not, I'm not a feminist saying the women are stronger or they have to take power. But also I think it's very, very difficult for men to be what they are not. And that take off their humanity and also the pleasure of life, which is to be and stronger and
to accept to be
yes.
fragile, the fragility.
Yes, yes.
So men has to accept to the fragility also.
Yes, and not make law to say that they are the stronger. It's not like that you become the stronger.
Mm. So the perfect couple would be two persons who accept to be alternatively fragile, both fragile and strong, and to escape from stereotypes. Any question regarding this this film, Bluebird? Well, you have seen, you haven't seen Sleeping Beauty yet, but regarding Bluebird and what we said about the film, any comment or question?
There was one scene in particular that I've been thinking about. It's when she opens the door to the forbidden room, and instead of the adult Catherine, we have the young child, Marie Catherine, entering the room and saying, "I'm not afraid," and going around the bodies. But in the end, after that scene, we get the adult Catherine trying to clean the blood. I was just wondering why you made the choice to make the young girl be the one who goes into the room.
Because me, when I read Bluebird, and I always they like to read again and again and again the same story, I was dreaming of this beautiful woman with very, very pale and a little green pen, and with this blood on their ear, sur les tempes, avec tout ce sang sur.
Yeah, she's bleeding from the ear.
It was so beautiful, and in the same time, I was fascinated, and I think j'avais plus de fascination que de peur.
She was more fascinated than frightened.
And I think that also it's a choice for a cineast. I think it's really better to have the little girl, and I was fond of this little girl. She is so cute, so strange also. Who is here and walk in the blood, and she was afraid in the reality of the movie first, really afraid. But as we are not monsters, we show to her that the dead woman, we show the time where they are for the makeup to transform her in a dead woman. So in the same time for a little girl, it become, for this little girl, it's become a pleasure, and she becomes very proud of her to walk in this boot. Another little boy was on the set, and he was crying. So Marilou, she's called Marilou, walk, and she go also between the leg of one of the dead women. So she do more than the woman in the fairy tale. It's to mix pleasure and fear. That is one of my favorite themes. And perhaps it's really perhaps it's because I was so fascinated by this fairy tale. I always said that I am a daughter of Bluebird and Lautréamont.
Lautréamont is a very famous French poet, end 19th century.
Very violent and very dark, and also very poetic, and in revolt against all.
He wanted to escape all frameworks.
Yes, and he died at 21, and becomes one of the major poets in France.
Yeah.
And me, I think really that I am a daughter of Bluebird and
Lautréamont.
Yes, and also of Bergman.
Yeah, hi Catherine. In Singapore, we have actually hardly much opportunity to watch your movies on the big screen. So far, I have managed to catch your earlier movies like Perfect Love, Fat Girl, Sex is Comedy, and Bridge Crossing. And these are actually all the contemporary movies. The theme is like on adult relationship romance. And what actually makes you venture into these later years, making these two fairy tale theme back-to-back movies? And when you pick the fairy tale, I've not seen Sleeping Beauty, but I just saw the Bluebeard. You have picked a fairy tale which is not in a sense like a fairy tale which is meant for like children viewing. It's like very adult-oriented theme. So what is this choice?
Oui, il demande en fait, donc il a vu plusieurs de vos précédents films, et on revient un peu à la question du début aussi, c'est pourquoi tout d'un coup vous avez choisi de vous intéresser à ces contes. Et deux films de suite.
Really, the first was Bluebird, and after Arte, they asked me to make Sleeping Beauty. And the Bluebird, one of the other reasons, and that you have to know that in fact, a real Lord inspiring the personage of a Bluebird. It's perhaps why he is a man and not an ogre, because the Lord who inspired Bluebird is called Gilles de Rais. He was a very, very great Lord, and also not only her wife disappeared, and of course we think that he killed her, but also a little boy, little girl in his country, and in the same time he was the best friend of Jeanne d'Arc, the Virgin of France, and it's very, very strange. So it's also in my version. He is the best friend of her little wife and virgin wife. And I think that when she enters the room with the wife kills, she becomes like the other. In fact, yes, it's a way to lose her virginity of innocence. So she becomes like the other, so he has to kill her also.
And you said in interviews that maybe you would like to adapt another
Yes.
tale, The Beauty and the Beast.
Mm.
And why Beauty and the Beast?
Because also for me it's like me. No, when I think when I want to adapt a story which is not mine, it's because it's mine. It is mine. In fact, it belongs to me. It's why I want to adapt.
And is the beast really a beast, or maybe which interpretation do you want to give to this tale?
The beast is the one who thinks he is a beast. Perhaps a man can be seen as beast for a beautiful young girl, and then also she take him under her power, but at last elle est si effrayée de l'avoir tué qu'elle revient.
She's so frightened because she killed the beast.
Qu'elle quitte celui qu'elle aime, qu'elle aimerait, le prince charmant, pour revenir à la bête.
Okay. So she leaves the Prince Charming and she comes back to the beast.
En fait, la bête est le vrai prince charmant.
The beast is a real Prince Charming. So behind the mask, the ugly mask, there is a real man with a big heart. Yes, Wina?
Just listening to you guys talk about these fairy tales, Sleeping Beauty, Bluebeard, Beauty and the Beast, I just realized they all seem to victimize women, and in fact, why are the fairy tales almost like a fairy nightmare? Why are we telling these stories to our kids, especially to our daughters? Because not only are the women victims and an incredible amount of violence is committed against them, we're supposed to be passing what message from some Victorian era to our children? How come the victims aren't the boys? I would like to see some role reversal going on.
Huh?
I wonder if you can comment on the violence against women in these children's stories.
Oui. Ah oui, Wina demande pour quelles raisons on continue de raconter ces histoires où en fait les femmes sont toujours des victimes. Et pourquoi on n'inverserait pas les rôles? On raconterait des histoires, ce serait plutôt garçons qui seraient plutôt des victimes. Pourquoi est-ce qu'on continue de raconter des histoires qui ont un fort degré de violence? Parce que dans ces histoires, il y a quand même beaucoup de violence la plupart du temps dans tous ces contes. Pourquoi est-ce qu'on continue de la raconter? Est-ce que c'est pas un peu traumatisant finalement? Pourquoi est-ce que, même vous, pourquoi vous continuez de raconter cette histoire qui sont quand même des histoires pleines de violence, où les femmes sont, même si vous voulez en faire des femmes fortes, elles sont quand même toujours un peu victimes d'une manière ou d'une autre.
Oh no, they are not victims. No, the last picture, in fact, in Bluebird, when she, quand elle caresse à peine la tête de Barbe Bleue, j'ai exactement recopié un tableau de Granac qui est Salomé et la tête de Jean-Baptiste.
No, she says, in fact, Catherine does not agree. Women are not victims in these tales. In fact, they are very strong. That's why, in the end, she's stroking the beheaded Bluebird, and she was inspired by Lucas Cranach famous painting, Salomé, you know, and the head of Jean-Baptiste. So tales is not always are not always stories of victimized women, but also women who are stronger enough to overcome men.
Yes, and I think also that legend and fairy tale sont au-delà, bien au-delà de de notre version à nous, de la bataille des hommes contre les femmes. C'est des mythes. Et aussi bien les femmes que les hommes poursuivent ces mythes. Et c'est beaucoup plus beau que la sociologie moderne.
Yeah, she says that above all, these tales are myths, perduring myths, very old myths that are stronger and go beyond the war of sexes. You know, it's beyond sociology. We are always talking of the war between men and women, but these tales tell much more than that. They are myths that construct our societies, but it goes far beyond the narrow interpretation sociologists can give, or psychoanalysts can give on these tales. The myth is stronger and more beautiful than any other interpretation, sociological interpretation.
Yes, and when I was young, I don't only, yes, when I was very, very young, I was trained with Charles Perrault and Andersen much more perverse. And but when I become older, I read all the fairy tale and legend of all countries in the world, and I think it's very, very beautiful also, and all time violent and mythic, and me I love also very much the version of legend, not fairy tale, who give young Zimu to us. And he talked to me. And it is also war and the problematic of the honor and to be strong and to be not. I think I prefer the mythology than the sociology. I think it's also very, very, very poetic, very good literature, and it's a way to become somebody which is not only educated with the good and le bien et le mal.
Good and evil.
Yes.
Yes, one question.
I mean, all those stories, they've all been written by men. So I think that's also quite interesting that, I mean, it's not a woman's vision. All these, I mean, these fairy tales were written by men. And would you think that they were like perverts? Because, I mean, they all have a pretty similar vision of women, and I think there's a bit of abuse in a sense.
I'm just, for those who didn't...
Written by men, but it is also a legend, because nor Perrault nor Grimm invent this story. They just write and sing.
But do you think
it
they
is
would come
legend.
from women at all, or how do we know if there was actually any woman involvement in any of those? Do you think there was?
Because this time, woman was not educated to write. It's one of the reasons.
Yes, it's one of the reasons, but maybe... yes, who tells the tale? That's a good question, a man or a woman. But maybe in the oral tradition, these tales were told by women, maybe, we don't know. If somebody has the answer, I don't know enough of the story of tales. But yes, most of tales have been written by males. But maybe they have been told by women also.
Yes.
In the
So
oral
perhaps
tradition.
just one question, because I see some pancart with
Yes, we
just
have 5 minutes.
5 minutes time.
So, another question? Yes?
Peut-être que je peux demander en français à Caroline. À votre avis, pourquoi les femmes sont plus fortes que les hommes?
Why women are stronger than men?
Because they are, parce qu'elles sont aussi fortes que les hommes, alors qu'elles sont éduquées pour être moins fortes.
Okay, they are as strong as men, despite the fact that they are educated to be weaker. Yes.
I've seen Bluebird and a few earlier films by you, and in the films that I've seen, sex and sexuality seems to be very much a part of films, but also death and trauma and pain quite often seem to be a part of your films. So I'm wondering if you think there is a relationship between sexuality and death or trauma. Is there a link? Is there an economy that is explored in your films?
What do you mean?
Does Catherine think there is a relationship between sexuality and death, or trauma because in the handful of films by her that I've seen, there seem to be these two elements featuring quite strongly.
Dans vos films, sexualité et mort sont très liés, ainsi que la douleur. Et donc il demande pour quelle raison vous associez toujours sexualité et mort ou sexualité et douleur.
Because also I love very much the item, news item, and when you read the news item, it's because c'est parce que c'est quelque chose est arrivé d'horrible.
Okay. Yeah, when she reads the news, in fact, she's inspired sometimes by the news, and you can read sometimes news, and sometimes love stories are linked to death and pain. Most of the time, when you read the news, when there is a love story, usually it is
love
often
story
linked to
or other story,
or stories,
but which turn into violence.
Yeah.
It's that a news item, and me, I am fascinated, but I think that everybody are fascinated by horrible new items, perhaps because we think or is for the other, so it's not for me, perhaps, but also because we like and the quietude and le bonheur,
happiness,
and also the contrary, the terrible contrary, I think.
Okay, thank you very much, Catherine. A warm applause. Thank you.